What's going on, Ghosties? We are Tales of Spooky Coffee House. Welcome back to our podcast. It is season 3. I'm so excited, are you?
Yes.
If you're new here, thanks for joining us. We are your hosts. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Veronica.
And I am just so ready to get this started.
I'm pumped. My hands are a bit sweaty because I'm just like anxiously excited.
I know. Ghosties, I hope you can hear a difference in our audio quality.
Mm-hmm.
We got a producer. So, shout out to my cousin Bobby, who I don't know why we didn't go to beforehand.
You know what? Third time's a charm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, huge shout out to Bobby for helping us out. Hopefully we do sound a bit better. I apologize if I sound sick. I just survived COVID. I know. COVID's so 3 years ago, blah, 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 but I'm alive. That's what matters.
Yeah, and she sounds so much better. She sounded like death for like the last week.
Yeah, I did. We were on the phone and I wasn't myself. Like I didn't have the energy. I couldn't even fake it. I was like, Chelsea, I'm just gonna talk to you next week.
And I was just like the whole time I'm waiting for her to be like, I can't do this anymore, because I'm like, she shouldn't be doing this.
I was thinking it. I was like, okay, I really need to end this call, but I know we have shit to do. But Ghosties, we hope you enjoyed our little Christmas gift, our little promo teaser that we did for you back in December. Mm-hmm. That was really fun.
It was. It was so good to record again.
It was. And the conspiracies we talked about, I mean, I can't stop talking about them.
I mean, that's
honestly
why we talked about them. They're our favorites.
Exactly. And we have plenty of more conspiracy theories to talk about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Do you want to get us started with our first true crime topic of the week?
Oh my god, of this season? I'd be honored. Ah! Okay. Ghosties, I missed you. How are you? Today, I will be talking about the horrible death of Giles Corey. So before I kind of get into the story of Giles Corey, I'm just going to give you a couple of, like, I don't want to say they're fun facts, but, some facts, So Giles Corey has a history of petty theft as well as murder. He did kill a fellow farmer by the name of Jacob Goodall for stealing his brother-in-law's apples. Yes, you heard me correct. Corey beat him nearly to death, and Jacob would later die under medical care. So Corey was exempt from the charge of murder and instead was charged with using unreasonable force, for which he was found guilty and fined for. So this guy kind of avoided prison,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, you know what? No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to start off this season like that.
Wait, say it for me, though. I'm curious now.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if I were hypothetically to beat someone up with a stick, and they were to die a few days later, like, am I going to be as lucky as Corey? Or am I going to be someone's bitch in prison? You know what I mean? Like, which of the two?
I'm keeping that in there. I'm keeping this. I love this.
We are Tales of Spooky Coffee House.
Starting off strong.
Starting off strong, guys. So, Giles Corey is a very unlucky fellow. The reason why I gave those fun facts in the beginning is because I don't want you guys to feel too bad for this guy, but also he's a human being, or was. So, in 1659, yes, 1659, Giles Corey moved from Salem town to Salem village and became a farmer. Unfortunately, his wife would shortly die after the move. It only gets worse, guys. 5 years later, on April 11th, 1664, Giles married a London immigrant, Mary Bright. Mary Bright wouldn't stick around for that much longer and died in 1684. That's not funny. I don't know why I said it like that. I really said it with a smile on my face. I feel horrible. To no surprise, Giles married a widow named Martha Pannon in 1690. I think he thought maybe marrying a fellow widow would change his luck, right? But Martha was unfortunately accused of witchcraft and was arrested in March of 1692. Giles Corey would believe these accusations before being accused himself of witchcraft on April 18th. He was arrested alongside Mary Warren, Abigail Hobbs, and Bridget Bishop. Hobbs would be the one to accuse Corey of being a wizard, and of course Corey would deny these claims and refuse to plead guilty. So this guy actually refused to plead at all. So according to the law during this time period, if a subject refused to plead, like at all, they could not be tried. So when someone during this time period refused to plead to avoid cheating the justice system, prisoners would be stripped naked and they would have heavy boards laid on their bodies. And then they would place rocks and boulders on the plank of wood that was laid on their body. So this was a process of being pressed. So you're literally being squished, pressed to death. Yeah. So I don't know. I just got an image in my head that I didn't even get during my research, and I feel uncomfortable. So therefore, due to Giles Corey refusing to plead on September 17th of 1692, Corey was subjected to the procedure by Sheriff, remember this name, Sheriff George Corwin, but he did not cry out in pain as the rocks and boulders were placed on the boards. After a couple of days, Corey was asked about 3 times to enter a plea, but each time he replied, "More weight."
What?
Yes, and of course the sheriff did just that. So more weight would actually be rumored to be Corey's last words, which is kind of dark in a way because,
yeah, that is,
the reasoning behind it. Another rumored, last few words of his were, "Damn you, I curse you, and Salem." Remember that, you guys, remember that. So what happened to Corey's wife, Martha? She was hanged on September 22nd, 1692. Silly me. And fun fact, Giles Corey's death was the reason why the people of Salem began to rethink their support for the witch trials. Isn't that crazy? Like, here's the thing that trips me out. I'm gonna go off topic real quick. But this is what trips me out. People know when they're doing something wrong. People know that they're supporting something that is wrong, And it took Giles Corey, who wasn't an innocent man per se, but a man that was accused of something that really wasn't true, and he was killed to death, and he even asked for more torture, pretty much, by asking for more weight. I don't know why, but that trips me out. Like, that's pure evil when you support something.
He sounds more like a sadist.
It does. It does. So, Ghosties, I know this is a true crime segment, but it is episode 1 of season 3, so let's just add some ghostly spark to this story. It is said that Corey's apparition appears to walk around his grave each time a disaster is about to strike the city. I don't know about you, but this is very different compared to most ghost stories that we've talked about, because this ghost has a purpose, has a reason. He shows up when something bad's about to happen. Like, that's kind of spooky. Like, that makes it spooky.
My anxiety would just go nuts.
Like, if someone were to tell me, "Oh yeah, I saw a ghost at the cemetery," like, okay, like, it's a fucking cemetery. What do you expect? But when it's a known ghost that only like pops up when disaster's about to hit, nah, I'm going home.
Be like, "Oh yeah, I saw the ghost of so and so," and the other person's like, "What?"
Yeah, it just makes it more eerie,
Yeah.
Let me make it more eerie for you guys. So his ghost also appeared the night before the Great Salem Fire of 1914.
Oh shit.
So a little reminder: this guy died back in the late 1600s. He's still showing up 1914. He's like, "I'm sticking around. I'm gonna keep my promise. I'm gonna curse you bitches." I don't know if he really said that, but in my mind he did. So remember the sheriff who would be the one to press Corey? Well, it seems like Corey did actually curse Salem, specifically those who worked in the sheriff's office at the time when, he was pressed and killed. All would either die or retire due to heart or some kind of blood disease. Corwin, Sheriff Corman, the one that pressed Corey, died of a heart attack in 1696. Do I want to know the cause of that heart attack? Abso-fucking-lutely. So the curse was said to be broken when the sheriff's office was relocated from Salem to Middleton in 1991. This curse lasted hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hilarious. Good for you, Corey. And that's my true crime topic. Yay.
Yay.
I hope you guys could go to sleep tonight thinking of a man getting pressed to death for something he did not. Or something that he was accused of that he, possibly wasn't. Most likely he wasn't.
Right.
But that being said, do you want to go ahead and get us started with the paranormal topic of the week?
Yeah, so I feel like we were on the same page here mentally on the same page, because we both chose topics that are both paranormal and true crime. Like yours was more true crime than paranormal, and mine's going to be more paranormal than true crime, but they're like together.
Yeah, that's because we're geniuses.
So we're going to talk about the truths of the Amityville Horror House.
Ooh, I like that movie.
Okay, well, I'm sure everyone listening has heard of or watched the movies on the Amityville Horror House. The story basically goes that a man hears voices telling him to kill his family, so he shoots both his parents and all of his siblings. Then a new couple moves in and begins experiencing paranormal activity that makes the husband angry and violent before they discover the house was built on an Indian burial ground, making the men and families killers. There is some truth mixed into the movies, but a lot of it is false. So, what is true? On November 13th, 1974, the estate was the scene of a mass murder using a .35 rifle. 23-year-old Ronald J. DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family while they were sleeping, which included both his parents, Luis and Ronald DeFeo Sr., and his siblings, 18-year-old Dawn, 13-year-old Allison, 12-year-old Mark, and 9-year-old John Matthew. So, the murder part did actually happen in this house. 13 months later, the Lutz family purchased the home. So, I kind of want to start with the murder part. So, Ronald Jr., first of all, he died in 2021. I didn't realize that he...
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it was recent.
Mm-hmm.
His story changed so much during his lifetime that even now, nobody really knows the reason why he killed his family. Just that he for sure did it.
Yeah.
Some of the stories that he claimed as to why he did it was... Yes, the voices told him to. That was the biggest story. He watched a violent movie called Castle Keep, which wasn't even very violent, even for the time it came out. He had financial issues, and it was believed that he and a friend faked a robbery and stole $20,000 from his family's car dealership. Now, keep in mind, 20,000 is the number in 1974 terms, not 2023. That would be such a bigger number.
Yeah.
And the last excuse that he had was his father's brutality. It didn't help that he was taking LSD and heroin. Yes, which are big things,
Tisk.
Whatever his reasoning or the truth about why he killed his family, the tale of the paranormal part didn't settle in with the public until the Lutz family moved in. So here's what the Lutz family claimed when they moved in. George Lutz was the stepfather of the children, and he had a history of dabbling in the occult. Just straight up say that. That was one of the things that he did. He was said to have woken up at 3:15 a.m. every morning, which was the time that Ronald had carried out the murders on his family. They also claimed to smell strange odors, see green slime oozing out of the walls and keyholes.
Ooh.
Yeah. And experiencing cold spots in certain areas of the house.
Sounds demonic.
Yes. When a priest came to bless the house, allegedly he heard a voice scream, "Get out."
Ooh.
He told the Lutzes to never sleep in that particular room of the house because of that. Other paranormal activity that they reported was a garage door opening and closing, an invisible spirit knocking a knife down in the kitchen, pig-like creature with red eyes staring down at George and his son Daniel from a window.
Ugh.
Yeah, can you imagine?
No, I don't want to.
George waking up to his wife, Kathy, levitating off of their bed. And they also claim to have seen their sons, Daniel and Christopher, also levitating in their beds.
Remember when we tried levitating?
Oh, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Oh, good days.
I know. If only that spell worked.
I know. Maybe we had the wrong candles. Maybe.
Maybe.
Nana had the house a little too blessed,
So these claims are what led to Jay Anson's 1977 book, The Amityville Horror, which was basically the foundation for the movies. So it was basically like the story of what the movies were based off of. Here's the thing. Did this actually happen to the Lutz family? According to George and Kathy Lutz and the polygraph test that they took, yes, it did. But according to William Weber, their former lawyer who fell out with them because of money issues, he came out in 1979 claiming that the three of them came up with the horror story over many bottles of wine because of the financial issues that the Lutz family were having. So to kind of add to this, George was curious about the paranormal activity and tried summoning spirits. Like I said, he dabbled in the occult, but he had a financial motivation to sell his story to the media because of their severe debt. So that was kind of like one of the reasons for debunking what happened, is because they were just trying to profit off of this.
Make money.
Yes. If you're wondering like why this haunted house tale took such a strong hold over the media and the public, it's honestly because of the release of the Exorcist movie, the original movie. I think it's funny how when we talk about like it's not really scary, it was extremely horrifying for the time. Like my mom used to tell me stories about like how her dad, who raised me on horror movies, like that was always his thing. Like he was sick to his stomach from it. Like it was that bad at the time. And the trauma from it made it really easy for people to believe the scary things about the Amityville house, which many believe is the reason that the Lutz family were trying to capitalize on it.
Right. I think even, I mean, you're right. At that time, it is easier to believe something like this, you know? To where nowadays, because we have social media, fucking AI, like, if something like that Amityville Horror House were to come out in today's time, it'd be laughed at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be laughed at. It'd be like, oh my god, this is so fucking fake. It's just another paranormal activity.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like in this is like kind of my opinion. Like I still believe it. I still believe that Amityville Horror House story, even in today's time with everything, you know. Just because I have personal experience, which I'll talk about later. I don't want to interrupt your segment too much, but I mean, you gotta think about it. It was different times. They didn't have everything we had to make it easier to fix something like that, you know?
Yeah. And like I said, like whatever you believe to be true is up to you, and everybody listening is going to have their own opinions. But one thing I will add is that the people of Amityville hate the attention from all of this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like a lot of places use haunted houses and true crime in their history to capitalize off of tourists. Like they want the tourists to come because they want the money. But it's quite the opposite with the town of Amityville. They have nothing about it in any of the historical museums. They have no parking signs on the streets around the house to prevent people from going there. And even the current owners changed the look of the house, which you know, the big windows that are like really big, and they took those out.
Wow.
Because they were trying to deter people from it. They have
easily picture the house.
Yeah, they took out those big windows that kind of like make it the Amityville house, like how we know it. So the owners and the town have just gone to the great lengths to tell everybody to fuck off.
Interesting. Because like, yeah, I mean, like, say my house was fucking haunted, which it kind of is. I wouldn't want people to, like, okay, eventually, like, if I didn't want to live here anymore, I wouldn't mind people coming and ghost hunting and stuff like that. But then again, you know what? It is my house. It is kind of personal. I wouldn't want people, like, pissing off, like, my family who has passed, you know?
Yeah.
But if I were to, like, purchase a haunted building, like, I wouldn't do it more so for the money, but I would want people to have that experience. Especially those who search for proof.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they are quite the opposite over there.
Interesting.
And one thing I will say, too, for the ghosties listening, the Amityville Horror House is a private residence. So if you try to go there, you will be arrested for trespassing.
Ooh.
I just want to throw that out there, because not many people realize that it is a private residence, because they're like, oh, it's the Amityville Horror House. And
it kind of reminds me of the house that was used in season 1 for American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've driven past that house, and that shit is fenced up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they don't want people there. And it's a nice street. Like, it's a nice neighborhood. Then again, I don't know if that house is really haunted. I don't think it is. I just think they did a really good job on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, they don't want nobody on the block to go visit that house.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part about keeping places that have become so popular as private properties, because you're gonna have the fans that are gonna try and trespass, and that's just a lot for the owners.
It is
Like,
because imagine having strangers show up to your house like every day.
Yeah, and like the current owners of the Amityville house, their names have been kept out of public records for their protection. But information on the house, like, they got the house for $200,000 less than what it was worth because of the issues that they knew and anticipated that these owners were going to have.
Right.
They even, not these owners, but I think a previous owner even changed the address to kind of throw people off.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, that was my paranormal topic, the Amityville Horror House. One thing I should have said too, the Indian burial ground was totally fake. Like, that was not a thing.
That wasn't true?
No, that wasn't true. That was just for the movie.
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't even the right, because they're, like, in the area, I think they said more north than where the house was. There was, like, an Indian burial ground, but they didn't even use the correct tribe. So they just, like, completely fucked that up.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, dude, but I need a coffee break after that segment.
I'm not gonna lie, you had me on my the edge of my seat that my coffee is almost done. And whatever's left of my coffee is not hot anymore, but I still love it. It's so fucking delicious. Our topics were, like, pretty good. You did a really good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Chelsea. Thank you. Not us being nice to each other.
I know. First episode and we haven't been mean to each other one time. This is a record. Third time really is a charm.
Something I wanted to, kind of reflect on your segment about. Even if it's fake, I believe it's true, like I mentioned before. Only because if you're in that house, you go mad, right? Mm-hmm. You become a murderous psycho. My connection to that was, remember back in season 2 when I talked to you about my experience at the Haunted Museum in Vegas? The last time I went with our good friend Z, and I remember leaving the museum just so irritated. I was done. I was like, I want to go home.
I remember you telling me this.
I don't want to be here anymore. I'm in such a bad mood. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Mm-hmm. And then I start the drive home where I should become more exhausted because it's a 4-hour drive, well, depending on traffic. And I felt so much better. You know what I mean? Like, I was fine. So I could definitely see how a place can drive you mad or make you feel negative feelings. So because I have that experience, I'm like, well, it could be true. There could be some kind of influence this house had on these people, on these families.
Yeah, and it could have been all of the negative energy from the murders themselves.
Absolutely.
Whatever caused Ronald Jr. to kill his family, it definitely could have lingered. And like you had said before, you went to the Haunted Museum multiple times and never felt that way.
Yeah, this is my third time going.
Yeah, so it's definitely possible. Like, there's no escaping negative and positive energy wherever you go.
Absolutely.
Some places have more negative energy, some places have more positive energy, and that's just the way of it. And I definitely think that the murdering an entire family definitely left some negative energy around
Absolutely. There. And something I've come to believe in recently is that even if the Amityville Horror House was just a regular house, was not haunted, the murders could have made it haunted. Mm-hmm. These situations could have made it haunted, could have brought evil. Because
especially like the family that moved in right after them, they would have gotten the most residuals from that.
Because
if
it's like
I
a domino
remember,
effect, you know?
yeah, if I remember correctly, since the murders, there's been 6 owners, but only the Lutz family has said that they've experienced any paranormal. Like, nobody else has said that.
Right.
And maybe they've kept it private if they did, but who knows?
I guess we'll never know.
Right.
But something I wanted to ask you about my segment really quick. What would you do if you were in Giles Corey's shoes? You're being accused of witchcraft. Let's say that you actually weren't a witch at this time.
I was gonna say, I am a witch, so like...
I know. I have to. I got you. So say you're not a witch, but you're being accused of witchcraft by some random bitch. And you're on the stand. They're asking, what do you plead? Like, what would you have done?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Do you think they still would have gone through and killed you?
Yes.
That's true. So you would have not avoided playing, though.
Yeah. And I think that there was, like, one of the tests was, like, drowning if you floated.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, either way, whether you were or weren't a witch, you died. So
either way, you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that's kind of like my reasoning. Like, it wouldn't matter if I did say that I was guilty, even if I wasn't, because either way I'm gonna die. But at least I'm gonna die staying true to myself. Like, I want people to know, like, I was not a witch.
Have it on the record.
Yes.
That's what I want. Like, at least on record, my final words were not guilty. I'm not a witch. I didn't do that shit.
Exactly.
Because obviously, hundreds of years later, now we know that most of the people that were murdered during the witch trials were innocent, and that's just sad.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. So yeah, Veronica, do you want to explain what our new thing with tarot cards is going to be this season?
Yes. So season 1 and season 2, we would do tarot card readings for ourselves, for friends, for listeners. We would do, the month ahead. So because it is a new season, we obviously want to switch it up. We want to try something new. So what we're going to start doing, instead of doing a full-on tarot card reading, which don't worry, we're still going to do tarot card readings.
Oh, yes.
You'll mainly see them on YouTube, then hear it here on the podcast. But what we're going to be doing now is we're each going to be pulling the tarot card of the week. Originally, only one of us was going to pull the card, and then we were going to talk about the meaning and maybe see if it kind of relates to either one of us or any situations going on around the world. But last minute, we decided maybe we should each pull a card. I think it'd be kind of interesting to see if they relate in any way. So that being said, Chelsea, would you like to start with your card that you pulled?
Sure. So I recently got a new tarot deck.
Period.
I felt like it
Shut up.
What?
Okay, I'm so sorry, and please keep this in the podcast. I swear, I put it on my dad. I just flipped over my card so I could, get the meaning out and have it kind of ready.
Uh-huh.
Guess what card I pulled?
What'd you pick?
I fucking pulled the sun reversed.
Dude, I picked the sun regular.
I know, because I see it on... Okay, Ghosties, I know you're confused. The reason why I know that's the card she pulled is because it's in the notes. I didn't want to see my card until we started this segment.
Shut up.
I'm not fucking kidding.
No, you know what I was just about to tell you? Legitimately, I was just about to tell you I wasn't doing reversed meanings because I just got a new deck and I'm trying to get to know it. And it's easier for me to do that without reversed cards. So imagine if I did have reversed cards in this deck.
Okay, but I need you to believe me.
I believe you.
I need you to... I'm putting it on my dad. That's I can't, If you know me, you know I'm not lying. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, that was way better than what I thought you were going to tell me because I'm looking out my window into darkness and I thought you were going to be like, I heard something in your background. And I was like, please don't say that.
No, if I hear something in your background, I'll say it right away. I'll say it off the bat. Who's that little girl laughing in the background?
Shut up. No, so, okay, off topic really quick. So Izzy did that to me the other day. I think it was yesterday from the time that we're recording this. Remy was sleeping and
these are her daughters, by the way.
Yeah,
guys,
these are my daughters.
New.
We've talked about my daughters, but I don't think we've ever really said their name. But
yeah, you have, because they pulled cards for
oh,
the
that's
readings
right,
before.
that's right. So yeah, so Izzy is my oldest, Remy is my youngest. My youngest was sleeping. And Izzy and I were just playing around. We were like laughing and trying to stay quiet. We were in my room with the dog, and she just goes like dead still, and she's looking behind me, and she's like, "Mom, there's something in the closet."
No, shut the fuck
no,
up.
I literally,
no, because that's fucked up.
I literally crawled on the bed and like grabbed her, and I'm like, "Stop, stop, stop. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that." And she starts giggling, and she's like, "I'm just kidding." And I'm like, "You're horrible."
That was good.
But like the way that like her face was, I was like, she was so serious, and like I was like, Jesus, you could be an actress right now.
Hey man, you never know.
I had chills down my spine. I was like, fuck. But what's funny is when I grabbed her, I literally went into the corner of the room, the furthest away from the door I could possibly get, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, but also it was away from my closet, so it was like win-lose there. So getting back onto topic. Look at us, first episode, we're already going off topic multiple times.
I mean, if you listen to our promo
if you know
episode,
us, you know.
It started off way before.
That's true, that's true. The sun represents like warmth and positivity, and this energy is supposed to help strengthen us when life is difficult. And so the sun brings light, right? It ends the darkness of the night, and it's supposed to bring light to any deception or lies, or just to uncover the truths of whatever it is that's bothering you this week. So this card appears when we need confirmation that there are better and brighter times to come. And so I'm really interested to kind of hear your perspective on the reverse meaning, because we did pull both.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to make things even more like, wait, what the heck? Chelsea, did I not ask you top or bottom?
Yes.
Ghosties, get your mind out of the gutter. I sensed it. Y'all nasty. So when I was shuffling my tarot cards, I asked Chelsea after the fact. I was like, Chelsea, top or bottom? She said bottom. I pulled out the card from the very bottom of the deck. Just putting that out there. Putting that out there, you know?
It's crazy.
All right, so let's see what the sun reversed. Wait. Where are my glasses, Ghosties? What the hell? Hold on.
Are they on your head?
No. I know Chelsea edited this part out, but I had to blow my nose. And I had to take off my glasses, but it's alright. I found them. I found my eyes. Nobody panic. So the sun reversed. Gray days block out the warm rays as you are finding it difficult to stay positive and upbeat. You've recently experienced some unfortunate events that have set you back from your goals. Skies are currently clouded with uncertainty, leaving you to feel gloomy and drained. Never fear, these setbacks are temporary if you set your mind to turning your luck around. It won't be easy, dude. I'm just going back to the conversation we had prior to starting to record.
I know. I was just thinking that too.
Which we'll talk to you about a little bit, Ghosties. It won't be easy, but push through and eventually the fog will clear. On the other hand, the sun reversed may also indicate that you are overly optimistic and are painting over lackluster scenarios with colors that do not exist in the paint palette. Your exuberance is borderline delusional. Not the tarot cards calling us Delulu. Oh my god, I'm dead.
Listen, we already knew that. Thank you very much.
And you could use a reality check to get yourself back down to earth. Shine light on the truth. First of all, that's fucked up, and I'll tell you why.
First of all, I feel called out, and I'll tell you why after, too.
Yeah, no, I'm mad. So... Listen, I started off the year with COVID. My birthday was on New Year's Eve, so I had COVID on New Year's Eve. I actually tested positive on my birthday. But even though I had COVID, I still had a positive thinking. I was staying optimistic. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? I think God's just putting the rough part of it all in the beginning so I could just look forward to enjoying the rest of my year.
Right.
So I've been very happy. Like, I've been telling people I'm not depressed. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so excited to live life. Like, I worked out yesterday and I went to go walk a mile, even though my lungs are kind of like hurting me. But like, I'm starting this healthy, optimistic kind of look at life this year.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that my tarot card just told me that I'm Delulu and that I need to stop being so optimistic, like, what the fuck? That is so rude of you.
Maybe it's just saying you don't need to go overboard with the optimism.
I'm not going overboard. I'm becoming a better person. How is that? How are you gonna tell me to? You want me to like do something? I'll steal a car. How about that? You want me to steal a car? I'll steal a car.
Ooh, Grand Theft Auto. That sounds fun.
I'm just kidding. I don't know how to steal a car. But you know what I mean? Like,
Internet. You can Google anything nowadays.
why? Wait, what?
Google how to steal a
Oh!
car.
No, bitch, you're supposed to say YouTube it. That's what my brother says. He's like, oh, just YouTube it. Yeah, just YouTube it. Anyways, what were you gonna say about your card? I'm just gonna be mad over here.
Well, like what we were talking about earlier before we started recording, and now the tarots are like, keep looking for the brightness that's to come and don't give up. Like it's all, especially because of like everything that happened last year for me, and just kind of, I'm waiting for my fresh start, which isn't going to happen until I move. And so like I just needed that reminder to be like, push forward, don't give up just yet, like it's gonna get better. But also like with other stuff, like I'm starting a healthier lifestyle this year. I want to focus more on my ambitions and my projects, like the podcast, my writing, just all of that. And so I feel like the tarots were just like reaffirming that idea. But also it's also like the fact that you pulled the reverse card is also like a reminder for me to be realistic about my goals and to not be delusional about what I can and can't accomplish. Because last year, just because of everything that happened, like I had the goal to publish 3 books last year and I only published 1.
Right.
And so like at first, like 3 weeks ago, I was like, okay, well what I didn't publish this year, I'll publish next year on top of what I already had planned to publish this year. Which would have been like 7 books in a year. And I was like that's not, once I actually sat down, I was like, that's not realistic. Plus it costs money. So like 2 of the books, like one that I was going to publish last year and one this year, I was publishing 2 books, one for each of my daughters. But to get the illustrations made for that, it's like $600 a book.
Yeah.
And to get 2 of them, that's $1,200. Like, that's not going to be realistic for me right now. They know that I wrote them a book, and they love the story. They just don't have, like, a picture to it, which is fine. So I just need to, like, really sit down and, like, be realistic about what I want to accomplish with my starting over era.
Right. So here's 2 things. First, a piece of advice that someone gave me that I want to pass on to you, Chelsea, which I've already told you so many times, but she doesn't listen, guys. I'm telling you.
I'm very stubborn, okay?
It's also a piece of advice that I think I've already mentioned on the podcast, but I'll mention it again, Ghosties, okay? Because it's important, and I think we all need to hear it. When you're setting up goals for yourself, set up short-term goals. You know what I mean?
That lead into your long-term, yeah.
To your long-term goal. Because here's the thing. Let's go to the whole weight thing, right? If you start off the year, all right, I'm gonna be healthy. I'm losing 50 pounds this year. I'm losing 50 pounds. You're gonna start working out. Yeah, you'll shed a couple pounds. Is it 50? No. A couple months later, are you at 50? No. Do you start getting discouraged? Maybe.
Yeah,
so instead of...
why...
Uh-huh.
That's why this year I didn't put a number on it. I just said that I wanted to lose weight and start being healthier. Mm-hmm. So my goal is not to lose a certain amount of weight. It's to work out, and by the end of the year I want to be doing it every single day. So like I'm not trying to force myself to work out every single day right now, because first of all, I don't have the fucking time. Secondly, like that's gonna have to build up over time. And so I'm giving myself the whole year to just work up to being able to find the time in my schedule, kind of plan around it, and be able to work out every single day.
Yeah, which is exactly what I was like gonna say. Like, so instead of going like, yes, have that 50 in your mind, like that's your main goal, but maybe start off with like, you know what, this month I'm cutting out 80% of junk food.
Yep.
Next month, well, the month over, okay, what are my goals for next month? I'm gonna cut out sugars, sweets.
Yeah.
Or the following month, you know what, this month, I for sure want to lose at least 5 pounds.
Yep.
You know, and because you're slowly changing these habits, those little changes are going to lead to losing those 50 pounds.
Yeah. Because trying to do
I mean?
everything at once is what a lot of people mess up on. Because that, like, cutting yourself off cold turkey from every bad habit, it's just not going to work.
Yeah. And, okay, this is a little personal. I usually don't share personal information on the podcast. But last year, I was able to reverse my pre-diabetes. I actually just found that out in November when I did my annual, what do you call it, checkup thingy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I reversed my pre-diabetes. I was so proud of myself. And it wasn't even like, yes, it was a goal of mine, but it wasn't like something I was working on every day. Like, I need to get rid of it. No. I started eating more almonds. I started eating more salmon. You know, I started taking an extra few steps every day. You know what I mean? And those baby steps that I took without overwhelming myself led to such a achievement.
Yeah.
You know?
I last year I watched somebody make that decision. So I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody that I know was diagnosed with diabetes, and they took it into their hands to reverse that. And I didn't know that you could reverse diabetes until, like, this happened.
I think it depends what type of diabetic you are, but yes.
Yeah, because there's one type of diabetes where, like, you don't produce enough
insulin.
Yeah, so, like, that's different. But I watched them over the entire course of the year go from never exercising at all to not only working out every single day, but like dropping pant sizes because they just, like, they changed everything but little by little, and now they're down like 5 pant sizes. They have no diabetes whatsoever, and they work out every single day, and not just like.
Do they happen to listen to the podcast?
Yes.
Hey, good shit, whoever you are. I don't know who you are, but good shit. I'm proud of you.
So yeah, so like that just kind of like inspired me because I was like, they did that in a year. Like, how do you just? And even
when
their
you
doctor,
set your mind
like,
to
yeah,
it, you know
like
what
their
I mean?
doctor was shocked.
Listen, change isn't just gonna happen. I mean, yes, it is, but the change that you want.
You have to make it.
Here's the thing. A pet peeve that I have that I recently got, and I'm comfortable saying this because I try to not do it myself. My pet peeve is when I hear someone complain about something and they're not doing the least bit of effort to change it. Okay, so ghosties, don't complain about something if you're not doing something about it. If you can. You know what I mean? If you can take that shit into your own hands. You know?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you just called me out.
I'm calling everyone out, okay? I want us all to have a good year. Yes, there's gonna be downs, man. We're gonna have bad days. Of course, it's fucking life, man. It's fucking life. It's gonna happen. But you know what? It's up to you to make the best out of it. You know, how much bullshit have I even been in life? And, like, here I am saying, finally, I'm healthy as fuck. I'm happy. I feel blessed. I started going to church. Yep, that's true. I started going to church. I'm praying for you, ghosties, because y'all wild. But I still had a part 2, okay? Going back 10 minutes ago. Second of all... Because, goddamn, we didn't technically get off subject. We were on subject. We just, you know, had shit to say.
We took a detour.
Yeah, we took a little detour. Second of all, I think there's a reason why you pulled the upright and I pulled the reversed. And I'm going to take back what I said to my tarot cards. I apologize. I don't think the sun reversed is all specifically towards me. I think this was a way for our cards to kind of give us a balanced meaning.
Yeah.
Don't put too much on your plate. Do little by little because you will succeed that way. Eventually, you're going to be able to do, instead of little by little, more and more and more. And you're going to look back and you're going to be like, damn, I fucking came a long way. I'm succeeding in my goals. You know, but also, Chelsea, don't put too much on your plate and allow your delulu-ness to ruin all of that. You know what I mean? Focus on one thing at a time. Finish that project, move on to the next one. Don't do 5 projects at once.
Listen.
Because like you experienced, and I am calling you out, because I want people to know this shit happens, you know? It happens to all of us. We're all human.
Also,
you try doing...
Also, but, like, in my defense, I did not expect a divorce last year, so that, like, threw me off.
No one expects these things to happen. No one wishes these things to happen. But you gotta accept that in life, fucking shit's gonna happen. You don't know what it is or when it's gonna happen, but you gotta have to, you know, face head on these challenges that come with life and fight through it and see the light on the other side. Take advantage of that. Learn, you know, what lessons did you take from it? Don't tell me. But, like, what lessons... You know, we don't want to get personal, but what lessons did you learn from your divorce, from everything that happened to us last year? And how are you making those lessons turn you into a better person this year?
Right. Listen, I feel like people come here for spooky stuff and true crime, and we just got, like, super deep on them.
Bitch, we're your motivators now, okay?
People
are going to be listening to us while they're working out.
True crime, paranormal, and motivation.
Fuck yeah, scary clowns and haunted houses and getting yelled at by Veronica and Chelsea to be better. Like, you know what I mean?
And the tarot cards.
And the tarot cards, of course. But, I mean, it's something that needs to be said, especially since it's the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And it's not us just, like, or me. It's not me just telling you what to do or telling you should follow my advice. I'm also doing my best to
follow that advice.
Yeah. Take these baby steps. I don't work out by myself. I hate it. I need that plus one. We just talked about this before this episode, which is why we're tripping out over these cards, you know. But yesterday, I drove my ass to a trail by my house, and I walked over a mile. Even though, not yesterday, the day before, even though I was kind of still recovering from COVID, you know? Mm-hmm. But I want to keep that promise of walking 1 mile a week at least. And I know that sounds like a little bit, but baby steps. Yeah. Because that 1 mile in, I think I did a mile, 0.25 in 29 minutes. Next month, I'm cutting that number in half at least. Yeah. And I'm going to be doing more than 1 mile a week. But for now, I'm starting off this way. Yeah. Right? Okay, I'm getting comfortable.
The fact that you got up and did it, like...
Exactly, and it felt great. And did you not just tell me that doing all the things that you've been doing felt great and you felt accomplished? Mm-hmm. And you look forward to feeling that accomplished feeling again, which is going to motivate you to keep
going, yeah.
Keep those changes, those positive changes in your life. So, I don't know. I'm sorry, Ghosties. It's the tarot card of the week. This is kind of what we're going to be going through weekly now, I guess.
And it probably won't be, like, as deep as what we made it today. Mm-hmm. It was just the fact that, you know, we pulled the same card. One was reversed, one was normal. But also, like, it's the beginning of the year. It's the start of a new time. Like, it's the opportunity to make those baby steps.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But yeah, like Chelsea said, it's not always going to be this personal. I think it was a great way to also show how accurate these cards can be and how they could attack you sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Like, because we really were talking about this. I mean, obviously we went on our little rants, which goes to show that they really are accurate, you know, and you can learn from these cards and take these cards' advice and make the best of it. So I really enjoyed that. That was really good. That was fun. Hey, no one cried yet. You know what I mean? So we're good.
Right. So yeah, Ghosties, just take that into account, like everything that we've said, what the cards are trying to say. How can you look to the bright side, make realistic goals this week? Just think about it. Like, you don't have to make decisions now. You don't have to do anything. Just kind of think about how can the Sun card in its normal format and reverse format, how can the Sun card help you this week to better yourself?
Yeah, see, and you know what, Chelsea, I appreciate you saying this week. Yeah. That's very realistic. That's very comforting. It's like, oh shit, what am I going to do this whole month? Like, oh my god, this month. No.
Yeah, don't do
what are you
going
to do today?
This week, yeah. Today,
what are you going to do tomorrow?
Week, focus on that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to work on time this week.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us this week, Ghosties. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode as much as we did. If so, please make sure to give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for extra content. Like we said, we're going to be doing full-length tarot readings on there that we're super excited about. We are your hosts. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Veronica.
And have a spooky weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye!
Bye!